Hey there, Internet. Keeve here, and welcome to the Cars with Keeve YouTube channel. And you see in front of you, we have the Maxflow MPro MK125. What do you want to call it? It's an MK1. So it's the MPro. It's the first version. There's a possibility of a second version coming out when I talk to them at SEMA, but I don't know when that is. But the question is, did they make any revisions in the manufacturing process? They told me that they had listened to feedback from other customers, myself in my video, and made some revisions to fix some things such as sound, maybe some other things. So the main part of this video is just kind of compare to see what revisions they made and is it worth it to purchase it now or wait for that version 2. Now, we all know the amazing performance of these machines and the technology with the permanent magnet motor. Now, what I'm going to do is link below the original review that I did on this, and I'll link it at the end of the video as well, because that kind of goes in depth into all that. I don't want to get into that. It's now available in the tool only. When I first reviewed it, it was not, so that helps save about 50 bucks. Not get all those crappy accessories that come with these, and you can just buy it by itself. Now, the one I purchased right here, I purchased this originally. This I did buy the tools because at the time the tool only was sold out. One thing that can help out if you are looking into purchase these, code CARSWITHKEAV will save you 15%. Hopefully that should help because this is a pretty high dollar item. Now this can range anywhere from $400 to $500. It just depends on the sale going on or whatever's happening or whether you get the tool only or not. But you see it's the same. We have the R2-D2 readout, which I'm not a fan of, the push button, the way it works, and the way that they're doing the total start stop. There isn't a true pressure switch. It's all firmware operated, ramp up, ramp down. So I actually misstated earlier, this is the old one and this is the new one. That's how alike they look, but once you open it up, you can see, yes, they did add some, well, I don't know if you call it sound deadening, but this looks to be polyethylene foam here. Same kind of foam you use to, like, you know, gun cases, camera cases, you know, formed foam, that kind of stuff. It's good for shock absorption, stuff like that. As you can see, we have some here, we have some here, we have some at the top to kind of maybe keep this thing from shaking. So let's see here. Does it, maybe it was a shake, it was creating a frequency, you know, within, you know, the balance of the motor, maybe, who knows? As you can see, it's a little more secure. Yeah, see, look at the difference. See this one? Look at how much the case moves around. Later in the video, we're gonna give you a little bonus. We're gonna duel these together. That's not the main point of this video, but a lot of people wanna know about it, but I didn't feel like creating 2 different videos for that. A lot of the things that, like that sound, should have been caught initially before it ever got to the market. So that way the people who first buy these aren't beta testers, because now I would have bought this. For me, YouTube, it's different, right? But for the normal consumer, bought this for $400 or $500, works amazing. But then you go and make an improvement a month later. Now I have FOMO. Let's move on and get these things hooked up, compare some numbers. Before we get to that, check the links below for anything in the video. Also, product tags, there's stuff there. Discount code CARSWITHKEAV as well. Like, comment, subscribe, and high points if you feel deserve them, you can throw them away. If not, I will show you a small creator at the end of the video that you can support. Let's have some fun. If you have Maxflow money, you're gonna get quick connects, right? So the quick connects that I prefer, McKillen's. I have them set up here. I have my McKillen's hose, 1/4 inch steel braided for a single unit. I think that is the way to go. The flexibility is just unsurpassed to me. Your 5/16 hose, your 3" hose will get slightly better overall performance. I prefer the push locks, man. It just makes it so much easier. So, and I have Ely quick connects here with the Ely spray nozzle. So when I'm doing this stuff and I want to just go back and forth quickly when I'm making videos, I have my input there. I have my Zebra Clean gun here. I pop in and I'm already ready to go. I have the gray Flexilla hose here, my current favorite. So we're just gonna run straight water in there through a 50-foot hose. So we have 50 foot of inlet hose, not a small controlled 3/4 inch kind of a lead hose or anything like that. Just what you would expect from a normal house setup. Now we're gonna use our 25-degree 4.5 nozzle from the new one between the 2 of them to see if there's really truly any difference. They both came with 4.5s. There shouldn't be any performance increase. I've also done my normal break-in procedure as well. We're not gonna do the take it out of the box and use it because these motors, these pumps and everything do kind of break in. So what I do is I run it until the pressure stops going up. Once this pressure stops going up on the gauge, I hold it for a full minute. I do that 5 times in a row. Now let's check our leakage. This is the new one. We have no leaks. This is our spray pattern. Just trying to get the air out of the line. Best way to really truly do that is to take, you know, your nozzle off and run it just like this. I will also say during the break-in period, several times as I was going through those 1 minute intervals, I could sense the machine pulsing, and I was wondering what it was. And I was checking the amps, and straight out of the box, it runs 14.6 to 14.7 amps right out of the box with their tip. So it's already at the, you know, the limit. And whenever it feels it's going a little over 14.7, it starts throttling itself back. Just a little bit here and there. So you can actually hear the machine correcting itself. All right, so let's see here. .86 seconds on the ramp up, which actually wasn't that bad. I can't remember what it was before, but the ramp up never bothered me. But that total ramp down took 13.52 seconds. When you change your power level, I don't know if you can really see that, but the bar right here, it goes down. Nope, they did not fix it. It goes down and shows you, oh, is it a quarter power? But the minute you're done, it lights all the way up again. And then when I press the trigger, I would prefer it whenever I'm pressing the trigger, whatever power level I'm at is what power level should show on this little readout right here. I'm pretty sure the firmware is smart enough to do that. Now that may not bother some of you. It bothers the living out of me. But we're at 960 PSI, 2.20 gallons on the wall meter. We're not going to do bucket tests because the wall meter between the two of them should be more than enough. And then we're about 14.65 amps. All right, ambient sound is 33.5. I'm gonna try to get this nozzle as far away from here as possible so we don't kind of mess with this reading. 80 decibels from right here. And then as I walk to about 6 feet away, just a little bit behind the camera, we're at about 77.5. I think that's a great improvement. The sound is not annoying like it was before until you let go of the trigger, and then you gotta listen to that for another 13.5 seconds do its thing. R2-D2, you know, he's still temperamental. See the difference in sound? Holy shit. This is that. Which is what really bothers me, is that they didn't think about that before they sent it to the market. Why did you just fix it? Shouldn't one of the main focuses of a consumer product be sound? They did fix it. That's good though. They do listen to feedback and they don't get all, you know, whiny baby like some companies do. There's some companies out there, they have very fragile egos. They do. And you make a video and they don't like it, ghosted. If you can't take that kind of feedback to improve your product, you got problems. Now let's judge the ramp up and the ramp down. Here we go. Wow. 13.37 on the cool down, 1.75 on the up, but that amount of time is so quick for me to be able to properly, accurately measure when it did. It's the same. But you hear that squeal? Oh my gosh, that's so bad. Pressure, 963, 2.2 on the wall. But one thing I will note, the amps are less on this machine than they are on this machine. This machine is amping at around about 14.48 to 14.52. So that's one thing to think about. Maybe that's part of the reason why it's quieter, and I will sacrifice that sound because I wouldn't use the initial 4.5. I would run a 5.0. That's going to get me into a much safer zone. It's going to get me more flow, and it's going to get me a PSI that's perfectly fine. The performance, basically the same. There's really no difference between 960 and 963. They're both 2.2 on the wall. Really, truly, it was the amps. That's the difference, for sure. I think it is now a really good buy, as long as you can deal with the weird tech. If you're a manual on-off switch type of person who doesn't like to mess with knobs or deal with lights or any of that kind of stuff, I don't necessarily think it's for you. So now let's see how much of improvement it'll sound. And I'm saying it's going to be significant. Let's see, ambient is 33.6. Oh, it was like 88 decibels over here. And then when the squeal came in, it was closer to 90. That squeal probably won't affect the distance. I couldn't do it all in one. I need a little break from that. And so now let's go to distance. We're about 86 to 87 decibels from the 6 feet, but massive difference in sound, probably close to 10 decibels. That's a big difference. All right, now I'm not gonna go over every single little bit here. If you would like to know, I'll leave in the description below a section just for this dual setup. But I found that this works the best because the length here to the check valve determines a lot of times how these want to work in sync. If the check valve's too close to the unit, we tend to have problems. So this length is, I believe, is the perfect amount. The problem is this creates a weird setup if you're wanting to do this truly in a setup, because I'm not using elbows, I'm not using anything to restrict, because I'm trying to get them to work together. So we're basically just bringing in the water flow, we're splitting it off to the 2 units, and then we're coming off the 2 units, and then we're bringing them back together at an angle. So the pressure from, because if it's coming in at a 90 degree like this, if it was a T split rather than a Y split, these two are coming into each other and fighting each other. So if you did have units that were 2 different pressures, you would have an issue there. And if one maybe started up before the other one, you could have an issue where they meet. And also that is another restriction point. The Y split is going to help those 2 merge at an angle like this, and then come out and go to the 3/8 Uberflex hose that I have on my fixed fans hose reel. Using the same gun with this setup. And this is, there isn't a lot of complication here. We have check valves. Make sure your check valves are obviously pointed out, because if you don't run check valves, then if one runs before the other, this is going to kind of run. This one's going to fight it backwards. This makes these 2 run as independent machines into the Y split. That's why this setup will work with an Active 2.0 duals. But if you don't run check valves, they won't work. They don't like each other. Now, I will say from this setup that the jumper hose is a little bit longer than most. We're probably talking like, I don't know, 8 to 10 feet in length to get to my hose reel on the wall. And then obviously there's 50 foot of hose on that hose reel. So we have 50 foot of 5/8 inch garden hose coming into this unit, plus the 10 feet of whip, plus the 50 feet of 3/8 hose. So you could get slightly better performance if you ran a shorter lead hose, more than likely, or if you had 2 spigots, because this is a single spigot bringing flow in. Now, each one of these is on its own independent circuit. I have one running right here to my 20 amp on the wall. I have one running to the inside of my basement, which is also a 20 amp, but it has a 15 amp receptacle on it. But this is a 15 amp plug, so it works just fine. I'm going to turn the water flow on. Oh, leaking like a sieve over here. Turn this one off. Turn this one off. We got leaks. Okay. All right, no leaks. Awesome. So to me personally, when it comes to using a foam can with this, I just use the foam cannon with the 1 unit, because I'm not worried about, we're changing dilution, we're changing flow, there's all kinds of things going on here, and I want to keep it simple. So I'll turn 1 unit off, and I'll run the other unit just with the foam cannon normally. And when I want to rinse, just turn the other one on. Okay, here we go. Pull the trigger, see what happens. They're gonna turn off at the same time. They turn off at the same time. Now there are 2 D2 dials. The LED strip was not in sync, but we were in sync on the ramp up, the ramp down, and holy 4.70 gallons per minute on the wall, and about 840 PSI with the 10.0 nozzle. Let me check, let's do it again. Let's check the amps. Let's make sure that these 2 want to work together. Now, one thing that it could be a problem is if you did a little, just just a little bit out of sync if you play with the nozzle quickly. So that's a small quirk. But overall, we got what we're looking for. Now I want to check to make sure the amp on the single machine only have 1 amp meter. We're just seeing the amp on the old machine here mixed with the new one. So now remember, this one on a 4.5 nozzle. So if you're running like a 9.0 on this, which I'm not going to run, this one may pulse a little bit while this one probably is flowing good. Because remember, this one's slightly higher in amp than this one. So what I'm thinking is the 10.0 is the way to go. Keep it down, keep the amp down, keep them both running nice and full. So here we go again. I think it'll be within a split second. Yeah. So as you just run it normally, they're in sync. But even if you screw with it, they're not off by a lot. They're doing pretty well together. Confirmed once again, 4.7 on the wall. This time we were about 830 on the pressure, but the amps 14.2. So we have pulled the amps down a little bit better for sure. 10.0 at 4.7 gallons per minute. That's pretty dang good. So there's not much else to say other than I know that running 2 of these together is absolutely not needed. It is overboard, over the top, but people wanted to know and I wanted to know, and it's fun. So deal with it, right? So there you go. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check the links below for anything video. Product tags, discount codes are down there as well. Like, comment, subscribe. Hype points, you feel I deserve them. You can give them my way. If not, here's a small creator that you can support. All right, so what I've been doing lately is just searching detailing on YouTube and changing my filters to be within the last week. And I come upon Golden State Auto Saloon right here. It's like great cinematic ASMR style washing videos. This one is on the M5 here. So we go to the comment section, we swipe to the left, we hit hype, and we can give them 880 points because I spent a lot of them just the other day. But at least now they have some hype points, and that's how you give them. Now, we currently have no idea how these hype points work or what they do for you, but supposedly they help you with reach, and they're meant for smaller channels. They consider a smaller channel less than 500,000 subscribers. You have to be a partner with YouTube. That video has to have been posted in the last 7 days. So there you go. I'll see you in the next video. Damn, I forgot what they even call this. Oh, come on, bitch. Too big. Too big. That's what she said. If not, I will show you there's really nothing to in. We're not, before I switch these, hold on. Ow! Dang it. Turn it on. Oh. I hope if it was plugged in. The performance, 9 point. The perform. But now we know from, that's Ivan. Ivan, leave me alone. I got stuff to do. I got a video to make. Okay.